Hey, hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you for joining today's session. So in today's session, we're going to talk about a process discovery tool, which is task capture. So maybe let's just wait for maybe 1 more minute. Then we'll get it started. Thank you.
Wang Wei, are you able to share the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I will sit beside to join from this session. Yeah, you carry on. Yeah.
All right. So maybe at the beginning of the session, I do want to share a quick video of of UiPath automation, basically to level set the understanding of UiPath automation and also to make sure that you are in the right code. Okay.
This is the story of work. It started a long time ago, on a Monday, which was handy. For as long as history itself, the humans needed to work. They wanted to work, to grow things and create things and build things, to see what they were capable of, to stand at day's end and say, I did that, which felt pretty good. So they worked more, built more, and created more, and traveled to far-off places. And then someone suggested submitting expense reports for those far-off places. His name was Glenn, and he was a jackass. Anyway, the people to work smarter, but still they couldn't do enough work. Because during all that work to do more work, they had created work, and not the good kind. Not the let's sit around and come up with ideas kind. Not the I can't wait to get to work so I can jump into a new project kind. The crap kind. The drudge and data and admin and the damned expense reports. So the humans had to work more at work they didn't like. That made them robotic. That didn't inspire. They had to postpone vacations. They had to miss family dinners. They were pissed. And then something happened. Someone had a really amazing idea. They came into work and said, stop working and start working. The humans thought she might have had wine at lunch, so she showed them a way to put the fun back into work, to waste less time doing the things they hated, to make more efficient the big tasks, to stop making the humans act like robots, and start teaching the robots to learn the humans. Not to replace people, but to free them. Even Glenn. Robots that learn you. Imagine the potential, like starting over, to help us remember again that work only really works when we're happy at it.
Okay. Right. So hopefully that gives you a better idea on the concept of UiPath automation. So as I mentioned earlier, so in today's session we want to focus on this process discovery tool, which is task capture. And also during the session, feel free to pose a question to the chatting window, and I guess we can answer that during the session. Okay. Right. So this is the so this is the agenda for today's session. So basically we're going to talk a little bit on the UiPath platform first, then followed by the specific task capture capabilities. And after that, I will show you a demo. And then finally, we're going to save probably 10 to 15 minutes on the Q&A. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the UiPath platform. So as you know, UiPath, we started as a RPA company. And in the last few years, so we have expanded our platform to be more end-to-end and enterprise automation platform. So in this new platform, we have actually breaking it down into these 5 different pillars. So namely, they are discover, build, manage, run, and engage. So under each pillar, we have a few tools to help our customer, help users to achieve the different purpose. So for example, for Discover, so we have these 4 tools to help our users, to discover those automation opportunities. So as you know, you probably have been doing a lot of tasks or processes every day, and you probably are not even aware that these processes or these tasks are kind of repetitive and it can be automated. So we have these tools to help you to discover those automation opportunities. Now, once those automation opportunities are discovered, then we move on to the second pillar, to the build pillar. So we have our studio and other tools to help our users, to help you to automate those automation opportunities. All right. So once those development work are completed, then we move on to the next pillar, to the manage pillar. So we have orchestrator and other tools to help users to manage, to deploy, and also optimize those automations at a more enterprise scale. All right, and those workflows will actually be executed by our robots, so which is under the run pillar. And then finally, we have this engage pillar. So there are 4 tools which can, as you know, there are certain processes which cannot be fully automated, meaning that it does require a human to step in and make a decision at a certain point. Yeah, so that's why we have these 4 tools to support this human and robot collaborations. And our entire platform can be deployed in these 3 options. You could go to our automation cloud. So this is a typical SaaS offering. So that users, they could immediately start their journey. And alternatively, they can either go with automation suite or the individual products, so which are suitable for on-premise deployments. Okay. Yeah. So these are our UiPath end-to-end automation platform. Right. So I guess now let's move on to take a closer look on the task capture. So before that, maybe we can let's try to understand why we introduce task capture. So as you know, process documentation, it could be daunting without the right tools. So we have this stats showing that 85% of those organizations actually depend on individual contributors or department leads to document their business processes, and only 2% of those organizations have all their processes documented. So this is why the process documentation that critical for the business process. So it is critical because it can improve your operation efficiency. It can also help user to reduce the resource requirement and also to accelerate the automation development work. So that's why we introduced this task capture tool. So task capture, basically, it can help a user to accelerate their business process documentation. Okay, so these are the 5 benefits. So the first one, task capture, it can help user with the business process mapping. So you can build a comprehensive process diagram, something like this, with just an easy drag and drop. And also, the task capture, it can also help user to automatically document the way they perform a process step by step. So basically, you can record, how user make a mouse click or type something into the screen. So all of that step by step processes will be recorded automatically. And after that, we have task capture have this powerful toolkit to allow users to further edit those screenshots, those documents. And those documentation can be shared easily, so to allow users to extend the value of your process. And finally, so our task capture is also tightly integrated with the entire UiPath platform, so that the development work can also be further accelerated. Okay, so let's take a closer look on the first point, business process mapping. Yeah, so basically, so when you so this is how the task capture looks like. So later you're going to see a closer look in the demo. Okay, so basically, user when they choose when they click on the first button here, then user can actually use this tool to build a diagram out of it. So basically, they can so this function can allow user to easily make a comprehensive documentation. Okay, and after that, after you map your process, user can add additional description and overlay comments, to capture sequences, to group elements together, and to make sure that it complies with the business standards. So basically, it's just a one click to instantly start documenting your business processes. Okay, and for the second point, the business process recording. Basically, this is another option when you open this tool. Okay, so with this capture process mode, so as a user, you can like select the level of details you want to record. So it could be as detailed as that all keyboard and mouse movement will be captured. Or alternatively, if you just want to capture high level data, you can also do it that way. And then the process diagram will be built automatically. And the another great thing about this function is that at the end of this capture process function, so you will be able to choose a selected quality that can be eventually used to generate a XAML file for export to Studio. So this can greatly reduce the initial documentation time and allow user to focus on the expert level details. All right. Yeah, and then this is the powerful toolkit that I mentioned earlier. So after user has, capture those screenshots can be further edited by using this powerful editing tool. So basically user, they will be able to add descriptions and comments, annotations, etc. They can also crop, screenshot, and highlight certain elements or blur certain sensitive information. Yeah. And also they can overlay sequences, swim lanes, detect and merge the same string actions to make it easier to understand, and also combine multiple documents together. They can even use the latest grab text function to extract text straight away from the screenshots to make users' life even easier. Okay, and they can also easily share those documentation. So basically, from text capture, there is a export function to allow users to choose how they want to export their data out. So they can either choose to export it out as a PDD document or a JPEG document, so that they can maybe attach it to their email or other documents. Alternatively, you can also choose to export it out as a XAML file. So if you are familiar with Studio, so this XAML file can be directly imported into a UiPath Studio, so that the developer can use this file as a skeleton or as a template for their further development work. And of course, they can also they can save and share those documentation file easily. For the review with other process SMEs. Okay. Yeah. So we also provide the flexibility to allow users to build their own PDD, process design document template, so that they can make sure that this output will comply to their company standard with their company branding. Okay, so these are all the flexibility, which are included in this task capture. Okay, the last point is so accelerated development work. So as you know, as I mentioned earlier, so UiPath, they have a complete UiPath platform which have a lot of great tools. So task capture is tightly integrated with these tools together. So we have automation hub, test manager, task manager, and UiPath assistant. So basically, the output, the PDD, or the XAML file, it can be published directly into Automation Hub, so which can then be used to accelerate the automation development effort. So this Automation Hub basically is a centralized location, centralized repository for the Center of Excellence team, for them to manage all their automation ideas and the automation artifacts. Okay. Alternatively, so the output can also be uploaded to the test manager to reduce the time spent on creating those manual test cases. So this test manager is used to for user to manage their test scenario, their test cases, their test set, etc. So task capture can be used to record down those manual testing steps. All right, and also task capture can be used together with task mining. So it can be used to refine the task mining result and to enhance the output files to make sure that the COE team has enough data to analyze the process. Okay. And finally, you probably have already used UiPath Assistant already. So now the task capture is already sort of embedded into the UiPath Assistant. As a user, you will be able to just quickly start documenting your process directly from the assistant's launchpad. Yeah, so that user do not have to look through their programs to look for this task capture. They can directly open the task capture from UiPath Assistant. All right. Yeah, and also I want to share a bit more on the real use cases here. Okay, so we have quite a few customers who have already used our task capture extensively, like such as Paychecks or Elisa. So basically, they use our task capture to quickly generate those PDD files or XAML files, and that has helped our customer to slash almost like 60% of their documentation time, and it can also free those business analysts. So previously they probably have to spend 3 to 4 weeks, but now it will be further shortened. For every automation idea, you make those business analysts so to free them out to do more like a value added work. And also in terms of the ROI, so you can save a potential of $500,000 per year in the documentation time. Okay, so this based on the assumption that 100 ideas at $35 per hour. All right, so these are the real data from our customers' use cases. So hopefully it gives you a better idea. All right. Yeah, so probably I will also just quickly touch on the license part. So task capture is already included in this user-based SKU. So which means if you have already purchased maybe a attended user or a developer user, then that means the task capture is already, that user is already entitled to use task capture. And now, of course, alternatively, you can also access that via our community edition. That is also possible. Okay. So any questions so far before I move on to the demo? So feel free to post the question to the chatting window. Okay, so if no more questions, maybe here, let me stop the slides and let me just show you the demo on task capture. Okay.
Hello, and welcome to this demo of UiPath Task Capture, an intelligent business process mapping tool that enables you to easily record, revise, and share documentation when looking to improve or automate a process. Let's start a new project by creating a new document. To begin mapping your process, start with one of these options. The first is Build Diagram. It gives you a more traditional drag-and-drop workflow and mapping experience. This option is ideal for building process maps documentation for more complex processes. Or you can select Capture Process, where Task Capture will automatically record the way you perform a process step by step with the built-in action recorder, which will easily generate a process map for you. Today, we will use the recorder as it saves time creating screenshots and manually capturing step-by-step details. Great, now we're ready to get started. Today, we're helping our HR team by documenting the step-by-step process to request time off through Workday. But this would work for any application that runs on your desktop or as a cloud application. As soon as we click the Capture Process button, the capturing wizard shows up. At this point, we need to ensure to close or minimize all the applications that we won't be using to avoid generating unnecessary screenshots. We can also launch and sign into the applications that we will be using as part of the absence recording process beforehand to avoid capturing sensitive information like passwords. When the environment is ready, we click the Start Capture button to start the capturing and automatically record all the steps that we perform in the HR application. By default, Task Capture generates screenshots for each action you perform, such as mouse clicks and keyboard activities. But you can adjust the level of detail within the settings menu. Consider the process in which we submit the request to take days off from work into the HR application, and then set up an auto-reply for emails. We are already logged into Workday, so let's get started with Absence Request Process. For that, we click Absence. Click Request Absence. Select a day or a date range in the calendar and then submit the request. As the next step, to configure auto-reply for emails, we navigate to Already Signed in Outlook. We click File, navigate to Automatic Replies, and configure an auto-reply email. We can use the pause button to take short breaks to focus on something else. In case we want to add more details about a particular action, we can specify them in the action title or action description fields in the capturing panel. Alright, now that we've gone through the entire process, we'll click Stop Recording. Task Capture will then generate the process map for you. In less than a minute, we were able to create our first draft. At this point, you can rename the auto-generated titles of your steps or even combine the ones that belong to one part of your process. Now, let's take a second to review the screenshots and see if we need to make any changes. There is a whole editing toolkit available within Task Capture, and right now, we're going to add some visual markups to these screenshots. First, let's emphasize the critical steps of our process and the location that the action is taking place. While we're here, let's blur our personal information, as we plan on sharing this document out with other teams. And we'll quickly update the description of this action with the heading from the Workday screen. We finalized editing the recorded elements of our process. We have one additional step we want to be sure to include in this process map. For that, let's get back to the diagram editor page to add the final step of our process, a decision point for submitting 1 day or more than 1 day absence. We'll also overlay swim lanes to the map, which adds visual distinction for groups of actions, such as actions for a specific department or application. In our process map, the swim lanes will specify the actions required by the employee in Workday and Outlook. You can rename a swim lane by double-clicking the title and typing in the desired name. Perfect! Our process map is complete. Let's first save our documentation as a task capture project. That way, if the process needs to be updated in the future, we can quickly make those edits. Now, we have a few ways to share this with the team members. First, we can download the process map as a JPEG image to embed in another document, presentation, or email, or we can export as process XAML file, creating an automation skeleton for Studio, which we'll show a bit later. We can also export the documentation as a Word document, or a process definition document, PDD. When outputting the PDD, you can provide key details about the process, like title or description. You can also pick from one of our documentation templates or use one of your own, along with adjusting image output properties. Now let's open the PDD. You'll see our documentation covers all of the critical elements of our process, and by default, includes a section for process overview, statistics tables, as is process map, as is actions, and others. Also, all the captured screenshots are included in the document together with annotations provided in Task Capture before. The PDD also includes the automatically populated metadata, such as clicks, time, etc. In 5 minutes, we created an accurate, detailed process documentation document that can be easily shared to teams across your business. For our needs, we will export this as a XAML file, creating an automation skeleton that can be opened within UiPath Studio, making it easy for our developers while accelerating our documentation to automation time. An integration between Task Captures and Automation Hub also enables you to send your documentation right to your existing automation project. Whether you're looking to build a drag-and-drop process map or use our recorder to have one generated for you, Visit us at uipath.com/task capture to start mapping.
Right, so that is the demo of UiPath task capture, and hopefully give a better idea on how you can make use of it to ease your life, to start documenting your process today. All right, do you have any question? Feel free to proceed to a chat window. And alternatively, if you want to, if you have any interest for any other products, so you can also reach out to your account rep. Yeah, so we'll be more than happy to assist you further. Okay, so seems that there's no question. Then I guess I would just like wrap up the session. So I want to thank you all for your time today, and hopefully it's a good investment of your time. And so feel free to reach out to us if you have any other inquiries. So we are more than happy to assist you. And thank you all for joining this session today, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye.